Let me get some more light on the situation. These are my recent ChronoCosmonomy studies. Oh. Wow. The light was actually on. I just didn't even really press the button, and it was the new bulb that I bought. That's gonna last me a long, long time. Hopefully a couple of years or more. So here's the map chart work, the latest, and you can see it by all the multiple color notations and Kaiboa writing. I did so much in-depth work. I would say it's a lot of geometry, which you usually don't have quite as much as the geometry, and also there'd be trigonometry involved with this, and there's just an understanding of spatial reality, even though this is an abstract visualization of time and not necessarily space. This is more about this is an abstract symbolic representation of time-space. It's not physical. So it's more about time, and time is the non-physical. I would say that there's a very general but very basic and definite division, or if you want to call it a duality, between time and space. Time is mental, space is physical, and it's just very neatly arranged that way. We don't go around denying that time exists. I mean, it's something we can philosophize, the existence of time or not, but there's a fine line that you have to understand. When somebody is talking about it and you really go in and assess it, you have to be very discerning what's in their mind to be saying that. And a lot of times, more times than not, when they are discussing that time is an illusion, and even that they go as far as saying that Isaac Newton's absolute time shall be just discarded, that we've disproven it, that's an indication. That is a red flag, as they call it. The proverbial quote-unquote red flag. When they go that far, just pretty much you're going to have to make a decision. If you can't, in depth, directly analyze their mind and their whole belief system, then you're going to have to, not waste the time with it. Don't worry about not accessing them directly. You can just judge them by their fruits. If that's their fruit, that's the results of what they've studied and what they're thinking, to say such things, then just dismiss it. Don't waste any more time. Don't trust it. Don't entertain it. And certainly never let it be part of ChronoCosmonomy, because ChronoCosmonomy is founded on certain unchanging principles and laws. Call it absolute time, call it the mind, call it inner space, and call things space, outer space, physical, the bodies, celestial orbs, their movements through time. That's what this is. Now take a look over here. This is one of my latest illustrations and diagrams. It's actually upside down, but it doesn't matter. Just take a look at it, because you can look at this from any angle. You've got to be flexible that way. You have to be adaptable. So take a look at it. This is the block proper of the pattern, and it ends, where does it end? Right about here, and it ends there. So when you get into this block pattern, actually the block pattern would end over here. I don't know why I didn't include it. So the block proper ends here, I guess along the same note. It doesn't always end on the same note, but this one just happens to be on the same, ending on the same note. And the midpoint on this block pattern would be here, which is a half stepping off. Wait a second. I have to verify what I just said. But on this one's a little bit different. It's a smaller block of pattern. Not a block pattern, a block of the pattern, the wave pattern. Waves pattern. Oh, not wave pattern, waves pattern, plural. A block of waves pattern, proper. Block, the block proper is there. Right? So when you study this, you at least take the 101 to get a working knowledge of the basics. Just the start of everything, so that you can get from your initial kind of shock and confusion that all this is going on, and things like this that I just discovered. That I just found out by doing this. I just found that out, and here was another example. And I didn't find too many examples of that, which really doesn't mean that it's rare. I just happened to not know anybody that was also this equidistant, symmetrical around a midpoint. Now we see 8 midpoints, and then a 9th one here, and then 9 on the switch over to the next straight. It would go straight for a little while and then descend further into the next set of notes. So essentially you've got 9 blocks somewhat overlapping, and then is that 9 and 9? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 9, just one, not 9 and 9, just one 9, because you got this as the 9th, or the middle one, the 5th one in the center, wave 0, the ultimate one. Then you've got another ultimate one here between, I guess it's between the L and the 12. Is that the main one? I think between the L and the 12, or is the L and the 12 or the K to the 11 the main one? I don't know. I'm gonna have to relook that. A lot of this is all new revelations that are, generally the method of understanding all this stuff. But there are specific techniques. There's the techniques. There's the notes is one particular technique, and then there's various ways on that within that technique. But then on the midpoints and finding the block of wave patterns is another technique. And there's various other basic, like smaller techniques that are interspersed among those the 2 major techniques that I just said. So there's multiple types of techniques that you can combine and find out things. Just like, well, I'm not going to digress into other sciences, but just to leave you on that note, that we've got a lot of developments happening, and I'm ready to teach this. Possibly as soon as this summer, if I do come back. If I don't come back by then, that's okay. But it wasn't meant to be. I will be teaching some